Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to Sweetwater's iOS update. This time out, an incredible amp modeling app from Positive Grid. Let's get started. Our app today is Bias from Positive Grid, an extremely powerful amp modeling app. What you can do is select the amplifier that you like and you can customize just about every component within that amp. Let's take a look at how this works. The way it starts out is you choose the type of amp that you want to work with. You can work with a clean amp. We've got several different choices there, and these are really clean. So if we choose one of those, we can go to a tube style. We can pop back over here. We can go to a glassy amp, which would be more like an American clean. Here, a black face. We've also got a Dumble clean down here on the end. So you can hear the character of the amp is really changing as you select the different models. And we have models that are in blues, crunch, high gain, metal, insane gain. There's acoustic amp models, and there are also bass amp models. So if you're playing acoustic guitar or bass guitar, you also have options for loading up amps within Bias using that as well. Now once you've selected the amp model you want to work with, you can do a lot of things to modify the tone. You can really customize the amp. So let's choose one here. Well, we'll start here with the Dumble. If we click on the gear icon, it opens up a screen here that takes us to all the different components. We can do everything from customize the look of our amp. So we can change, for example, the Tolex color, if we like. We can change the style of knobs that are being used. So we can really go through here and customize the entire look. We can rename it and do all of that just from a pure visual standpoint. But once we get beyond that, we can start working on the components. So we can open up the preamp section. Now you can load up different types of preamps. So here we've got the different types that are there: bright tube preamp, British crunch, 4-stage, glassy tube, high gain, and so on. So let's choose bright tube preamp. So it opens up here, and then we have controls over the different aspects of this. So for example, we can choose the number of tubes that are in use. Here we've got 2 tubes. We can up that to 4 tubes. And you can hear the change in the tone as you do that. So 4 tubes versus 1 tube, 2 tubes, so you can hear the gain increasing as you change that. We can affect the bias of those different tubes. We can add the amount of compression that we want. We can even choose the type of tube. We've got 12AX7 here, 12AT7, which would be lower gain, 12AU7, which would be even lower gain, and so on. So you have complete control over everything that's going on within the tube preamp part of this amplifier. And you could also choose a solid state preamp as well if you like. Now after the preamp, we have an equalization stage. So we have basically a graphic EQ here that we can go in here and post preamp adjust our sound. We also have a standard amplifier tone stack, and we can load different types in. So we could load in a boogie tone, a British crunch, British top boost, so more of a Class A Vox type of a stack. Let's go ahead and load that one in. So then we have the controls here, and that tone stack emulates the response of those type of amplifiers. Next we move on to the power amplifier, and again we can choose the different types. We have presets here: metal power amp, clean power amp, bright EL84s. So let's leave that where it is. We can also choose solid state. We have a single-ended push-pull, which is what we're on right now. And we can choose the type of tubes that we're working with. We've got 6L6s right now. We can go to EL34s. Change the tone there. We have control over the bias for those. We have control over rectifier tube if one is being used. And next we can move on to the transformer. That's actually where we set the rectifier to either solid state or to tube. We have a choice of a GZ34 or a 5Y3 GT. So you can work through all the different rectifier types, different types of transformers. We have presets there. So you get the idea, a tremendous amount of power for customizing the amplifier you're working with. Finally, we come to the cabinet stage, and we have a choice of a variety of different cabinets, of course: 4x12s, 2x12s, 1x12s. We can choose the type of, let's choose a 1x12 tweed here. And we can choose the type of microphone that we're using. So we can have an SM57, we could have an AKG 414. We'll stay on the 57. and we can place that microphone wherever we like. You can just grab the mic and listen to the sound change as you do. Finally, we have a post-cabinet EQ stage, so you can go through and EQ that again to correct for any resonances or enhance the sound if you like. So tremendous amount of power for customizing the amp. Once you've got your amplifier set up the way that you want it, you can save it to one of 8 quick presets down here. You can also save it and load it up into JamUp XT, which allows you to open the amp in that effects and use it there. We have a room effect that we can add here. Let's go ahead and choose this was an amp that I custom created a little earlier. You can hear the room's on there. We can flip that back off. And we have control over the room. You can choose the size, the damping, the color, and the mix between the dry signal and the room signal. We also have a noise gauge, so if you're using a high gain amplifier and you're getting a lot of noise, you can tame that. So once you have your amps all set up, we can flip through different presets. Here's one that uses a EVH style amp. Next up, we've got a custom amp that Positive Grid came up with. Sort of a Class A sounding amplifier there. Here we've got a Blackface Vibro. Step over to a crunchier Super Lead style amp. And Tweed Deluxe. So lots and lots of different options there. If you're a guitar player and you're looking for a virtual amp collection that you can customize and really make your own, then take on stage or use in the studio, Bias from Positive Grid is a great choice. I hope you enjoyed this installment of Sweetwater's iOS Update. Be sure to tune in next time. We'll have more apps, more hardware accessories, and more tech tips on making music with iOS devices. I'm Mitch Gallagher.